An effective technique for adding fractions with unlike denominators is to generate equivalent fractions in order to find a common denominator. In this video, we will use this technique to add two fractions with unlike denominators. In each case, the fraction sums are less than 1. Let's start with an example. There are leftover slices from two pizzas. One pizza is sliced into eighths and one into fourths. How much of a whole pizza is left? The pizza on the left has 3 slices, and this is the pizza that's sliced into eighths. So there is 3/8 of a pizza. On the right, there is 1/4 piece. We get the following fraction sum: 3/8 plus 1/4. Although they don't have a common denominator, because 8 is a multiple of 4, we can create an equivalent fraction for 1/4. As you can see, the 1/4 becomes 2/8. Now that we have a common denominator, we can add the numerators. So the combined slices of pizzas are equivalent to 5/8 of a whole pizza. Let's look at another example. A recipe calls for an amount of milk and water. Given the measurements shown, what is the combined volume of milk and water? In this example, there are 2 measuring cups. This one is divided into fourths, and this one is divided into eighths, but also includes markings for fourths. The cup on the left, which has water, has a quantity of 1/4 of a cup. The cup on the right, which has milk, has 5/8 of a cup. This results in this addition statement: 1/4 plus 5/8. As before, this pair of fractions doesn't have a common denominator, but one of the denominators is a multiple of the other. So we can write 1/4 as 2/8, as shown here. With a common denominator, you can now combine the numerators. So the amount of milk and water is equivalent to 7/8 of a cup. Let's look at a final example. A recipe calls for an amount of milk and oil. Given the measurements shown, what is the combined volume of milk and oil? The cup on the left, which has milk, has a quantity of 2/3 of a cup. The cup on the right, which has oil, has 1/4 of a cup. This results in this addition statement: 2/3 plus 1/4. This pair of fractions doesn't have a common denominator, and neither denominator is a multiple of the other. We need to generate equivalent fractions for each of the terms, as shown here. With 2/3, we generate 4/6, 6/9, and 8/12. With 1/4, we generate the equivalent fractions 2/8, 3/12, 4/16. We have highlighted the equivalent fractions that have the same denominator. Now we can rewrite the original addition statement into one with 2 fractions with the same denominator. The result is 11/12, the combined measures of milk and oil.